today, we are university students from the University of Trinidad and Tobago, i.e. UTT. We are studying our bachelor's in applied sciences and we are in the common year. The course we are doing is professional development. My name is Sarah Patel Rigaud.
I'm Alicia Edwards.
And I'm Rohini Babu.
And we are doing the assignment. Identify a major societal workplace issue and demonstrate how your knowledge of problem solving and or ethical reasoning may be used to adequately address the situation. Our intellectual curiosity has led us to an unconventional topic, and it has enlightened us and educated us in a very, very fun and educational way. I hope by the end of this presentation you will be just as enlightened. The topic we chose to do was criminal justice system in Trinidad and Tobago. If you have any, no questions of course, because this is a pretty presentation. The topic we will be discussing is how the criminal justice system in Trinidad and Tobago affects society and individuals that are directly affected by the justice system. What we are going to basically touch on for this presentation is how the different types of crime, what is the justice system, how it works in terms of the society and crime, the four major issues that affect the fairness and effectiveness of the Trinidad and Tobago justice system, as well as our conclusions and recommendations. Our thesis. Crime is an ongoing socio-economic issue that continues to negatively affect the people of Trinidad and Tobago. The shortcomings of the Trinidadian criminal justice system and certain related constitutional issues are very alarming and procedures are much delayed. These issues affect the entire country. We will identify the issues of crime and the justice system of Trinidad and Tobago. We are a very, very small Caribbean country. And in that I personally consider ourselves as a community. And while we're in a community, there are certain rules, regulations, duties that each person consents to in terms of the governance. Blatant disregard or the breaking of these laws do have their consequences. The Criminalization Act. I might need to just edit this out again. We have three categories: harm, offense, immorality. Harm is different. I guess it's open to perception or open to, what is it? Open to interpretation, right? Different people perceive harm different ways. One can say harm is social, emotional, material. Even your reputation can be harmed. Harm, all acts of physical harm is prohibited. But then, how does one classify physical harm? Do you necessarily need to have a bruise on your hand or end up in the hospital? This again is a complex topic. Any harm that leads to offense should be a criminal act. But society often wavers from what is offensive and what isn't. Exactly being an example of this being discrimination against gays or gay couples, or the perception that a society puts a value on a person based on where they live or their educational limit. Immorality. All acts deemed immoral are prohibited. But the question rises: whose morals are we relying on for these acts to be deemed immoral? Again, a next topic that's open to interpretation. With these categories, we have found four approaches when defining crime. We have the formal approach, the social harm approach, the universal norms, meaning what is universally normal approach, the human rights approach. But then, what is your definition on crime? one can say crime can be classified as an action or omission that is an start over. What is the definition of crime? Crime can be classified as an action or omission that constitutes an offense that may be prosecuted by the state and is punishable by law. Changing definitions in crime often change with the political society or a change in politicians or governance. Sometimes crime is wavered by what is considered good in the media eyes or what society deems as okay. Types of crime. We have infraction, which is a minor offense like a speeding ticket or a seatbelt ticket. Misdemeanor, burglary. It's a minor crime, which is like burglary or getting in a bar fight or something like that. And felony, major crime is murder, rape, which sometimes, depending on the country, may lead to the death penalty. Crime statistics. Right now we have a little overview on the type of the crimes in the periods of January to June 2011, 2012, and 2013. It is often a perception that media has an effect on how society feels about crime. Now, the way crime is projected, it directly affects how society feels about crime. But as you see here, we have a trend. By 2011, it's 7,552. 2012, it's the highest, 9,470, 9,473. And 2013, the same period, it's 5,895. So if the crime is lower compared to all 3 years, does a society feel safer? Or is a society or environment safer? Of course not. It has been proven that for the year 2013, our society has been very, very tense. And, depending on the crime, it's all dependent on the crime and what is reported, what is detected. So again, it all depends on who perceives what to be what. Now I hand you over to Ms. Alicia Edwards. She will continue.
Crime in Trinidad and Tobago is addressed by the criminal justice system. The purpose of the criminal justice system is to execute prompt justice and efficient management of both offenders and victims. All must be conducted. It must be conducted in an unbiased manner. The accused is protected from the abuse of the investigatory and prosecuted power. The criminal justice system consists of 4 major categories. These are as follows: the legislative process, which is responsible for creating the law. We have the investigation process. It's the responsibility of the police service to investigate and carry out detective work. The adjudicative process is the process where the system of trial is carried out. The curative process, this is where probation is of corrective, and rehabilitation process is a program which carried out. The most common measure of criminal justice systems is the extent to which cases are processed fairly and effectively. The major 4 issues that influence the fairness and effectiveness of criminal justice system are as follows: the case process delay and backlog, low conviction rates, prison overcrowding, insignificant alternative to prison. Like many issues in criminal justice, none of these issues stand in isolation. They are strongly interconnected. I will now bring Rohini back.
Case processing delays. In order to have a proper functioning criminal justice system, the basic ingredient is to process cases effectively and efficiently. Case processing delays and backlogs has a major effect on the justice system of Trinidad and Tobago. High levels of crime and thus court caseloads and the subsequent harshening of sanctions against offenders, inadequate staffing levels, incompetent criminal justice prosecutors, courts, correctional systems, deliberate delays by lawyers and other criminal justice practitioners, inefficient court scheduling practices, low conviction rates. Data is not readily available and evidence suggests that low conviction rates. Data is not readily available and evidence suggests that conviction rates. Low conviction rates. Data is not readily available and evidence suggests that conviction rates in Trinidad and Tobago are alarmingly low. Case processing delays make it difficult to measure conviction rates. Case dismissals are one explanation for low conviction rates. Case dismissals are common because of witness intimidation, lack of victim participation in prosecution, attorney absenteeism, witness testimony. Prison overcrowding. Most people awaiting trial in the region face pre-trial detention, sometimes for years. Setting pre-trial detainees free may endanger the public, but holding them for long periods overwhelms the prison's capacity. Because of this issue of confinement, reports have documented widespread deterioration in prison conditions in Trinidad and Tobago. Poor sanitation, resource constraints. The large number of people held in pre-trial detention is a major contributor to backlogs and overcrowding. Harsher prison sentences for certain types of offenders are likely to reduce public safety. However, sentences for other types of offenders, particularly non-violence, drug offenders or older offenders who have age contribute to overcrowding. Juveniles offenders, especially those new in crime and those who commit non-violent offenses, will either be victimized or go on to commit more crime. Drug offenders should be placed in treatment for addiction instead of prison. Insufficient alternatives to prison. Increased crime and high levels of violence often focus so intently on being tough on crime that they forget about the importance of rehabilitation and alternative sanctions. Trinidad is not yet supported by a well-developed knowledge base on effective sanctions and rehabilitation strategies. This is so despite of the experiences of other nations, which provide evidence on the effectiveness and promise of a range of strategies, as well as approaches that may actually increase crime. Lacking a comprehensive local knowledge based on effective strategies, Caribbean policymakers run the risk of excessive reliance on the knowledge base of more developed countries. Rehabilitation services can be established within the prison system, or they can involve the use of alternative sanctions, which may include fines, community service, curfews, or house arrest for non-dangerous offenders that allow offenders to avoid incarceration, but still pay their debt to society for the crimes they have committed. Other sentencing alternatives to prisons are mediation, restitution to victims, and probation. These options offer a number of potential benefits. They often cost less than a conventional prison sentence. They help avoid the labeling of stigmatization of imprisonment, thereby reducing the tremendous challenges associated with reintegrating offenders into society following their release. They eliminate the negative socialization processes that occur in prison, and they often bring greater satisfaction to victims.
The reality is that the problem is systematic. The following recommendation can be put forth in some of the issues that we just spoke about. arrest offenders and gather evidence, crime laboratories are properly screened, staffed and equipped to process criminal evidence quickly and accurately. The prosecutor, offences and courts are given significant resources and under more appropriate structure and procedure to move cases along rapidly and justly. Trinidad and Tobago begin to institute mechanisms for criminal justice, planning across these various sectors to ensure that they will be in hand. That's all the recognition now. In conclusion, this report focuses on the importance of issues facing the criminal justice system of Trinidad and Tobago and how it affects the rate of crime in the country. A lot of the attention was specifically directed towards the structure of criminal justice system, what it comprises of, the role towards society, the impact of justice system has on the security of the citizens. I know special attention was contributed to the issues of justice system, such as low conviction rates, prison overloading. After a thorough research was done on the issue arising out of the criminal system, we were able to compile a lot of recommendations and dealt with the issue that we spoke about. Basically, this project enhanced our understanding, increased our knowledge in terms of crime situation and how the justice system deals with decreasing crime within Trinidad and Tobago. I would like to hand you over to Sarah Patel, who will conclude our presentation.
Hi, I would just like to thank you for your time and attention for our presentation. I do hope that this presentation was enlightening just as it was for us, and I hope we learned something new. And thank you very much for your time and your patience. Have a good day.